Greetings, brothers and sisters, in the name of Yahushua, and the Father Yahuwah. How y'all doing? Now, this is a very important video. How important? Let me tell you.
Greetings, brothers and sisters, in the name of Yahushua, to the Father Yahuwah. How y'all doing now? Yeah, it's important, because look, in one of my old videos, like one of the first ones I posted, you can see my face, because I put a picture of it, but I had to come on here because the Father basically told me, like, it's urgent, so, like, put your face in the video, basically, like, do something to make people, right, like, take it real serious, I guess, because, well, I'll explain.
Alright, so before we get into the meat, first off, something crazy happened today. So I work at a Pizza Hut by this area in Atlanta called Vinings, by this mall. And so when I was walking, I've been going in and out through this area, going to school and going to work over there for like the better part of 2 years. And I've never seen anything remotely close to what I'm about to describe to you. So I saw it was a stuffed animal, a dog, with a doctor's jacket on, like pinned up or nailed to to a telephone pole. And I walk this same way every single time I go to work, and I've never seen anything like this. And I meant to take a picture of it, but man, I forgot because I was walking on the way back. I was just trying to go home, so I forgot. So you was gonna have to take my word for it. But anyway, something came over me. I was like, and this is how I know you got discern, because I was like debating in my head, what do I type in? Doctor dog on tree, lab coat dog on tree. I just opened it up, and this is the first thing that came to mind. And get humans not ready, because what's about to happen is finna tear some up. The divine image of God, yes indeed. And Jedi Knights of Good, which is crazy because that last video I posted about the celestial story is, look at the thumbnail, 144. Murder hornets. That shit made me laugh. Ark of the Covenant, Corpus Christi, which just got hit with Hurricane Hannah. The clock is ticking. Winter is coming. The hidden gematria code. So I'm sitting here slightly shocked, but at the same time not even surprised, because this is exactly how life has been going for like the past couple months. God's chosen people. Joaquin Phoenix, the nigga who played Joker in Joker. A Whole New World. The yellow ones. Sunlight? Here comes the sun. Same page, twin flame arrow. You already know what's up with that. Kingdom treasures. Representative of the kingdom and the spirit. All that can be found within. Kingdom of Mikael. All from looking at gematria. All it is because of a stuffed animal with a lab coat on that I saw nailed to a telephone pole. On to the real meat of the video, though. He or she who has the ear to hear, let them hear. Let them see if they have the eyes to see. Now, y'all been knowing for a minute that the 144 is finna activate. So, it's a lot closer than you think. So, I've been instructed to give y'all some details, pretty much. And I'm finna show you how exactly this came about. And it has to do with this moronic headline that's in front of your face right here. Let me go ahead and explain why I got this, where it's at. So me and plenty and a few others have done touch out all about how they use these headlines to communicate and such. So all four of these can be read into currently, but I want you to focus on the one at the bottom, because that's what we're going to talk about today, because that's very important. In the final stages of activating the 144 crystal grid. Now, what does that mean? Well, you know the 144 to be a huge interconnected army of light warriors, correct? And that heaven shall be on earth. Well, things need to be in place for that to work and to go the way it needs to go and to be smooth and fluid. So think of this as the 144 infrastructure, because this is the original military and such, the celestial one. So think of this as like our celestial military infrastructure. And I mean, you saw the message. So, but I want you to take a look at, we're going to take a look at some videos about Final Fantasy. because I need y'all to understand how devilish this cabal is, how devilish this game is, because these people who do, who knows, divining means, divining, reading stolen text, probably all types of despicable means, and profiting off of them, take this information, twist it and distort it, and put it right in front of our faces, because they're trying to invert reality. See, they're trying to cover all bases because they know what they're up against. So, you know, if you watch that, he talks about them manipulating time and such, and doing all types of things. They try to cover all bases. So, like, they put all these shows and energies out here. For example, if we win the war, they want the hero to die at the end, or they want to win the war, or they want to form an alliance in the end. Pretty much like everything ends up in that type of way, some type, because they're trying to cover all bases and just not have what's destined to happen. They're playing with things they shouldn't be playing with, because they are delusional. You feel me? The Most High has placed these, has given them these riches and given them this lofty status as a pretty thinly veiled wake-up call if they were only clever enough to see, smart enough to see, weren't wicked to the core. That's the real problem. Maybe I should start with that. But anyway, on to the videos.
Each and every single Final Fantasy has something to do with a crystal. No, seriously, like each and every one of them. Whether it's Magicite, a sphere, materia, which are all crystallized form of energy, they are all pivotal to the story's progression for which you are playing. But why crystals? So the crystals are just the catalyst of something that is bigger than themselves. They may be the power source of everything in the world, but are also the keys to a much larger, more creative force that created that world and brought them and everything else into existence.
You heard what he just said? Now, obviously, there's a whole bunch of inversion and delusion, because they're not going to tell you the whole truth. They have to make it hard for a reason, otherwise they would have been... Look. Most High makes no mistakes. Alright? See through it all, and it becomes the funniest thing to just like look out at all these. It's almost like children's games once you really like understand, like begin to see, like really like see. I'm sure y'all can relate. It's just hilarious. But as far as these crystals go, as you can see, that's not even all of them. There's plenty of verses in the Bible that have to do with crystals. And as you can see, 3 out of 5 of the ones that I put on the screen were from Revelation, which is very pertinent to the time we're in. I already explained pretty much what that's about, but as far as what he said about the reason I put that clip in there is because he said it's basically like a conduit with something bigger than itself, and that's very accurate, because these crystals, this grid, this system, whatever you want to call it, used for communication, transportation, all types of things, for us, just for us. And once the kingdom is established, things even greater than this. Much to come, much to come, much to come indeed. A lot to look forward to. But let's get back to these videos.
Crystals. Crystals are, since the beginning of Final Fantasy, a common source of plot and power, with crystals often being a source of power for the entirety of the world in each game.
The events of the 15th installment of Final Fantasy take place in a fictional world called Eos, which, come to find out, is not a real place where lip balm is made. Besides the benevolent kingdom of Lucis, the entire world of Eos is dominated by the evil Niflheim Empire. And in their quest for complete Eos domination, the Niflheim seek to take control of the powerful, magical, and aptly named crystal. Noctis Lucis Calum, heir to the Lucian throne and amazing haircut haver, embarks on an adventure to defeat the Niflheim. Along the way, he discovers his true purpose to use the crystal's immense power to defeat the evil empire and save Eos from eternal darkness.
So So we're getting about crystals, but I want you to think about that storyline. Like they do the same thing over and over again. So you have the Lucis Empire, which obviously like sounds like something to do with light off rip. The Lucis Empire, which is the only good kingdom in a world full of evil. Parallels. And then the last heir to the king is coming to put an end to it once and for all. Notice how in this picture the main character Noctis, the chosen king, the 114th king in the game, has red eyes. Eyes of fire, eyes of the spirit. It's like the Monkey King, just like Baki. It's the same things over and over again. They do these things to twist, to invert, to make fun of, to mock. And it all comes back to bite them soon. But I want to give you an example of how far-reaching and honestly quite just, I don't even like, I get it, but I don't get it. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean. So I'm going to show you a trailer for a game called Final Fantasy Versus 13, which features the same main character, Noctis, who is the 114th king in this game. And this trailer came out like 8 or 9 years ago. And the trailer begins with the tagline, "This is a fantasy based on reality," and I've shown it before. And also at the top right is just the word Cloud, which is my last name. And so we're going to get into a lot about this, but first I gotta show you the video. So the song I was just playing through that is called Somnus, and for a while now I've been like wondering why I just can't get enough of this damn song. And a little tip, if just like a song or like a piece of media, like a show or something that you like really like and you can't really understand why, look into it. You might like see something, because you know everything is frequency. And us children of light, our frequencies have the ability to change, alter other frequencies, as you know. So that's how things work, man. Anyway, it's called Somnus, which is the name of the first king of the Lucis line, Lucian Empire, which is, as stated in that video, the only benevolent empire in a world full of evil in that game, which is... But the lyrics of this song actually talking about the in-game lore of some fake guy called Benevelza. But if you read into it, it's actually just, you know, they're double talking and talking about Yahusha, because it talks about somebody who in the darkest night can see the dawn, as you can see out on the screen. And I'm going to show you who Somnus really is instead of just telling you. I'm going to show you. Dubbed the mystic for his mesmerizing feats on the field of battle, so he joined hands with the Oracle, Holy Spirit, to travel the world and dispel the darkness at Pledar Star. So that's Yahusha, King David, 144. Like, come on now. Somnus, Lucis, Caleb coming. You know, that's the founder king. And all that. Look at the bottom. Age 30. What age should they say that false image, that false white Jesus was when he got crucified? 30. And what age they say we're supposed to be forever in our glorified bodies? I don't know. All I know is you know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. And we're finna go even deeper. Type in Somnus, Lucis, Caleb. Add or order 312 at the top. It doesn't matter though. First thing that pops up is RH negative blood. Angel bloodline. Plain and simple. Psalms Lucis Caleb, the real Jesus Christ. Your pay for play. You are actors. I am real. God, evidence, magic, zodiac. Your pay for play. They'll pay for playing like this with names of one such as high and mighty as Yahusha. Take it a step further, throwing that truth code I was talking about other videos. I'm the Q manifestation of Christ. Nothing can stop what is coming. Christ, the King, creator of Israel. There you go again, in a different way. This is what these devils do. You have to understand. They live to mock and deceive and just trample upon. Half of this shit is what these niggas have to do every day to even survive with the deals they have made and what they have done and relegated their souls to. This is the type of world that exists at this moment, and this is what we're about to fix. You feel me? So, yeah, get the picture. Now onto this. Remember I showed you Final Fantasy Versus 13 earlier, and these trailers came out like 8, 9, 10 years ago. So, and I told you there was Cloud on the top right, and I was just kind of confused by that, and I was like, that is my last name, and I've ran numbers on Not This before, and you can look at old videos, and yeah. There's a reason he shows up in a lot of my videos. We'll just say it, put it like that. So I put it all in. Final Fantasy Versus 13 with the Cloud. Because, they put it in there so for a reason. Like, it wasn't in there for no reason. Things like that are not for no reason, That's how they get by on you. They train you to think that it's just entertainment. No. The entire cabal is ran by the enemy. Our inverted duplicates. So nothing is by chance. These niggas are masters at being sneaky. The MYKHYN God soldiers. I'm telling you, I still don't know what that means exactly, but I just know it breaks everything. It's crazy. Divine Teacher Messenger of God, World Health Organization, which has been in the news all over the damn place recently. And I'm not gonna say that. Y'all see that at the bottom. Y'all know who's up with this, but I want you to focus on the top. 144 are living in the dream. Because if you remember correctly, the Miyam jogged your memory about what happened at the end of that trailer. He's asleep. Not only this trailer, but the other one. Look how this one begins.
Noctis Oji. Noctis Oji. あれ、迫力ですね。
Waking up, tired as hell, don't know what's going on, looking around, dazed and confused. And in both these trailers, they tell you in the damn game it's a fantasy based on reality. I'm just telling you what it means. And it's crazy to see all this stuff unraveled. What has been done in the dark truly is coming to light. And speaking of coming to light, we got something to talk about because I'm sure you're all aware of the fact that once things go nuclear per se, a lot's going to change. So there's some things that I wanted to discuss with y'all pertaining to that. So here we have a text called The Greater Mysteries of God or something like that from this website called The Nazarene Way. And now look, as I've said before, the way things have gone, basically everything's just scattered all over the place. To put it plain and simply, so you have to just use discernment. And it's easy to find information once you train, your sense of what's true and what's not true. So when, we dive into talking about this stuff, if I skip over something or denounce something, don't be surprised, because that's just the spirit at work. All right, I'm finna read. All things in heaven and earth are of God, both the invisible and the visible. Such as is the invisible is the visible also, for there is no boundary line betwixt spirit and matter. Matter is spirit made exteriorly cognizable by the force of the divine word. And when God shall resume all things by love, the material shall be resolved into the spiritual, and there shall be a new heaven. Not that matter shall be destroyed, for it came forth from God, and is of God, indestructible and eternal. Now, as I stated before, everything is gamma light energy, which is the presence of our Father. So I I gave an analogy before as to what like solid matter is. It's like an extremely tightly coiled spring. Like it's coiled so tightly that you feel solid. And so, as you heard, by the will of the Father through the Word, matter becomes solid. So the spring tightens and untightens according to the Word. And so by the will and by the Word, they glory, they coil, tighten, twist, do whatever they want to the fabric of reality itself. But it shall be indrawn and resolved into its true self. It shall put off corruption and remain incorruptible. It shall put off mortality and remain immortal, so that nothing be lost of the divine substance. It was material entity, it shall be spiritual entity, for there is nothing which can go out from the presence of God. This is the doctrine of the resurrection of the dead, that is, the transfiguration of the body. For the body, which is matter, is but the manifestation of spirit, and the word of God shall transmute it into its inner being. Are you picking up what I am putting down right now? The will of God is the alchemic crucible, and the dross which is cast therein is matter. See, that's what I was talking about. As you can see, this ends at 33. Somebody obviously along the way got their hands on these, but you know, we're discerning for a reason. So you get the idea so far. And the dross shall become pure gold, 7 times refined, even perfect spirit. It shall leave behind it nothing, but shall be transformed into the divine image. For it is not a new substance, but its alchemic polarity is changed, and it is converted. But except it was gold in its true nature, it could not be resumed to the aspect of gold. So you see how they throw all that extra shit in there, but read between the lines. And except matter with spirit, it cannot revert the spirit. To make gold, the alchemist must have gold, but he knows that to be gold, which others take to be dross. Cast thyself into the will of God, and thou shalt become as God. Trust in the Father, and in the name of His Son, and cling. That's all you need to do. For thou, see, look, the bottom two, all that BS, but y'all get the point. They basically found this information that was beside themselves. They didn't know what to do, so they took it upon themselves to, guided by fallen angels and false shepherds, guided to do things like this and take it upon themselves to establish these so-called mystery schools, these so-called mystery religions, which is all really just the same rebellious spirits working with the same puppets, doing the same things, trying to keep us down. It's nothing new. As far as what's been said, though, we discussed on this channel many times that you are not this flesh suit that you call your body. You are what's inside of it. That's why it doesn't feel like your existence starts from your corneas. It feels like you're inside your body looking out. That's for a reason. Ponder these things. And all it takes is the twinkling of an eye. It's all change forever and ever. In different sections of the same book. Talking about like people basically. So that the entity is composed of spirit, soul, and corporeal appearance, your body. The outermost has become coagulate. Its inner content is fluid substance, your blood. Its innermost is spirit. The innermost is intangible light, which is the first generation, manifest by the will of God through the word of God. The fluid medium is the firmament, which the will of God divided from out of the great deep. And the outermost is the dry earth, which is matter, which is the will of God causeth to appear by gathering together the waters. That is of the first protoplasma. I don't know what the hell that means, but as far as the general idea of innermost soul, the blood, like spirit type, and then outermost dry earth, all that, that's pretty accurate. But as you can see, number 32, as of the greater, so also the lesser, as above, so below. See, their stamp is subtle, but it's very loud. If you know what to listen for. And at the bottom, it's just talking about all the congregations of angels and such, as if they truly know what they're talking about. But you get the point. What I'm saying is, it may be hard to like really grasp, like basically the gravity of how fast everything's really going to change for us, for me, for you, for the world. Like, understand that as we are right now, there's literally nothing in the way. All we're doing is following y'all's plan, waiting on his time. There's nothing in the way. There's nothing stopping it from happening. We're just waiting on him. And once it's time to go, it's time to go. It's over. There's no downtime between the way things are now and how they're going to be when it's all up. It's going from 0 to 100 in the twinkling of an eye.
Theme exclusive to the Final Fantasy series. A Warrior of Light is someone who was chosen in any way, shape, or form by the crystals of their world to restore balance. They are always the primary heroes of the games they are featured in, and thus are always playable.
Blessings to y'all. Stay prayed up in the name of Yahushua unto the Father, Yahuwah. Glory to the kingdom. Long live Yasharah eternally. And as for us, as for me, as for you, never forget who you fight for. Never forget who you do this for. Never forget who cares for you, who covers you. Never forget that we will come out on top.